There is a silent killer of dreams, and it isn't failure, it's drift. Most people don't go broke or become stagnant overnight. They do it one unexamined day at a time. But there is a master key, one single 10-minute habit that acts as an emergency brake on a failing life. It is the bridge between the person you are and the person you were meant to be. If you feel like this year is slipping through your fingers, listen closely. We aren't looking for a miracle. We are looking for the audit. I'm going to show you how to sit your executive self down tonight and reclaim your destiny before the sun rises tomorrow. Imagine a man who runs a business but never looks at his bank statement. He doesn't know what's coming in, he doesn't know what's going out, and he hasn't checked his inventory in 6 months. What would you call that man? You'd call him a failure in the making. You'd say his bankruptcy is a mathematical certainty. Yet, this is exactly how most people run their lives. They have goals for the year, but they haven't checked their inventory of habits in weeks. They are drifting into the fog of mediocrity, hoping that somehow, magically, they will hit the shore of success. The one habit that will save your year and ultimately your life is the nightly audit. It is the discipline of the internal accounting. It is a 10-minute window where you stop being the laborer and start being the CEO of your own destiny. You sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and you face the brutal, uncompromising truth of the last 14 hours. If the day was a loss, you admit it. If the day was a win, you record it. But you never, ever let a day end without a reckoning. We must understand that a wasted year is nothing more than 365 wasted days piled on top of each other. You don't lose a year in December. You lose it on a Tuesday afternoon in May when you decide that one more hour of distraction doesn't matter. But it does matter. It matters because it is a leak in your ship. And as the old saying goes, a small leak can sink a great vessel. The 98% are terrified of the audit. They don't want to look at the ledger because they know what they'll find. They'll find the hours spent on trivialities. They'll find the promises made to themselves that were broken by lunchtime. They'll find the lead of their potential turning into the ash of regret. So instead of looking, they turn on the television. They scroll through the lives of others to forget the stagnation of their own. They use noise to drown out the silence of their own failure. But the 2% crave the truth. They know that the truth will set you free, but first, it's going to make you miserable. They are willing to endure the 10 minutes of misery at 10 p.m. so they can enjoy the lifetime of victory at age 60. They know that you cannot manage what you do not measure. To perform the nightly audit, you don't need a complex system. You only need the courage to answer 3 questions with absolute iron honesty. First, what did I do today that was worth repeating? This is the inventory of your wins. Did you lead a project with integrity? Did you spend an hour sharpening a rare skill? Did you resist the temptation to complain? Even in a bad day, there is usually a grain of gold. Find it, acknowledge it, record it. This builds your self-respect. It reminds you that you are capable of excellence. Second, where did I lose the sale today? This is the audit of your errors. Where did you let the crows of distraction steal your focus? Did you lose your temper? Did you negotiate with your workout and choose the couch? Be specific. Don't say, I was lazy. Say, I spent 45 minutes scrolling when I should have been building. By naming the error, you strip it of its power. You bring it into the light where it can be fixed. Third, what is the one thing I must do tomorrow to fix the ledger? This is the blueprint for the rebirth. You don't go to sleep with a heavy heart. You go to sleep with a tactical plan. You decide right then and there that tomorrow morning will be different because you have already identified the leak. You have set the direction before the sun even rises. The beauty of the nightly audit is the power of the pivot. If you wait until the end of the year to check your progress, it's too late. The year is gone, but if you check your progress every night, you have 365 opportunities to fix your life. If you drift off course on Monday, the audit catches you on Monday night. You correct the sale on Tuesday. You are only lost for a few hours, not for a few months. This is the alchemy we've talked about. You are taking the raw data of your life and transmuting it into wisdom. You are becoming a student of yourself. Most people are students of the world, students of the news, students of the celebrities, but they are strangers to their own habits. The man who performs the audit becomes the master of his own machinery. He knows his weaknesses, he knows his triggers, and most importantly, he knows his potential. Now, I won't lie to you. The audit is painful at first. It is hard to look at a blank page and realize you did nothing of value today. It is hard to admit that you are the reason you are stuck. But this is the pain of discipline. It weighs ounces. It lasts 10 minutes. It is the price of the iron character. The alternative is the pain of regret. And that pain weighs tons. It lasts a lifetime. It is the pain of sitting on a porch at 80 years old, looking back at a year that turned into a decade of could-have-beens. It is the pain of realizing that the year was yours to save, and you let it slip away because you were too afraid to look at a notebook for 10 minutes a night. You must choose your pain. You must decide that the truth, however brutal, is better than the lie, however comfortable. The 98% choose the lie. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. They tell themselves, it wasn't that bad. They tell themselves, I'm just tired. But the 2% know that tomorrow is the word that has buried more dreams than failure ever did. The nightly audit doesn't just save your year, it secures your morning. When you wake up after an audit, you don't wake up in a fog. You don't spend the first hour of the day wondering what to do. You wake up like a soldier with an objective. You wake up with the executive order already written. Your mind is clear because the static of yesterday was processed and cleared the night before. This is how you outwork your past self. This is how you outpace the competition. While the world is still trying to figure out what went wrong yesterday, you are already halfway through the win for today. You are operating with a level of precision and iron intent that the drifters cannot even comprehend. We have talked about the wind of circumstance, the wind of the economy, the wind of the unforeseen. That wind is blowing on everyone right now. It is blowing on the man who is winning, and it is blowing on the man who is losing. The difference is not the wind, it is the set of the sail. The nightly audit is how you adjust your sail. It is how you ensure that no matter which way the wind blows, your ship is always pointed toward the harvest. It is the singular habit that turns a drifter into a captain. It is the difference between a life of accident and a life of design. So, here is my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video and feel motivated. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are like the weather. They change every hour. I'm not looking for your feelings. I'm looking for your discipline. Tonight, before you put your head on the pillow, I want you to find a piece of paper. I want you to face the 3 questions. I want you to look at the ledger of your day. If it's ugly, look at it anyway. If it's embarrassing, record it anyway. The iron starts with the honesty. Your year isn't over, not by a long shot. There is still time to plant. There is still time to build. There is still time to reclaim the months you've lost. But the rescue mission starts tonight at 10 p.m. with a pen and the truth. The brush is in your hand. The canvas of tomorrow is waiting. Don't you dare let the world paint it for you. Set the sail. Perform the audit. Save your year. You must also understand the alchemy of the environment. It is not enough to audit your own heart if you are living in a junkyard of other people's mediocre expectations. Your environment is constantly whispering to your subconscious, and if you are not careful, it will drown out the signal of your nightly audit. Look at your desk, look at your car, and look at the people you allow into your inner circle. Are they reflections of the person you are becoming, or anchors to the person you used to be? You cannot forge an iron character in a plastic environment. You must have the discipline to prune your associations. It is better to be alone and moving toward the harvest than to be surrounded by crows who spend their days picking at the seeds of your potential. Consider the discipline of the small courtesy. Most people think that to be elite, they must be cold or arrogant. But true mastery is rooted in the minor interaction. How you treat the person who brings your coffee or the stranger in the elevator is a direct measurement of your internal gold. If you are a king in the boardroom but a tyrant in the street, you are not a man of gold. You are a man of plated lead, and the marketplace will eventually see through the disguise. A magnetic attitude shines on everyone, regardless of their rank. Every interaction is a thread in the tapestry of your reputation. And once that tapestry is torn, it takes a decade to reweave. We must also confront the ghost of comparison. Nothing kills a golden year faster than looking at someone else's chapter 20 while you are still writing your chapter 1. The marketplace is vast enough for everyone to win, but if you spend your energy measuring your neighbor's field, you are neglecting your own soil. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. If you are 1% better today, if your audit is 1% more honest tonight, you are winning the war. Comparison is a spender of energy. Focus is an accumulator of power. Use your eyes to see the path, not to watch the runners in the other lanes. Think about the psychology of the obstacle. Most people view a setback as a sign to stop. They think the universe is telling them no. But the elite view the obstacle as the price of admission. If it were easy, everyone would do it, and the reward would be worthless. When you hit a wall, you should smile. You should say, "This is where the 98% quit. This is where the gap widens." Your attitude should be one of aggressive curiosity. Instead of being frustrated by the wall, be fascinated by the challenge of climbing it. This shift from frustration to fascination is the hallmark of the iron mind. Let's look at the alchemy of endurance. There is a specific kind of spirit required for the long winter. When you are halfway up the mountain and the summit is shrouded in clouds, your greatest enemy is not the cold. It is the mental fatigue that tells you the climb isn't worth it. The 98% listen to that voice and turn back. The 2% have the discipline to focus only on the next 3 feet. They don't look at the summit, they look at the step. They maintain a functional optimism, the belief that as long as they are moving, they are winning. This is how empires are built, not in a single day of glory, but in 1,000 days of grit. You must also master the alchemy of language. Your words are the clothing of your spirit. If you talk like a victim, you will feel like a victim. If you say, I have to go to work, you are a slave. If you say, I get to go to work, you are a professional. It is a tiny shift, but it changes the entire chemistry of your brain. The 2% use the language of ownership. They don't say, the economy is bad. They say, the economy is challenging, so I must be more creative. They don't say, I failed. They say, I learned. Watch your tongue, for it is the rudder of your life. If you speak defeat, your mind will follow the order. If you speak victory, your spirit will rise to meet the demand. Beware the slow erosion of neglect. You don't lose a great life in a day. You lose it in increments. It's the one night you didn't perform the audit. It's the one conversation where you joined in the gossip. It's the 1 hour you spent listening to the crows instead of the eagles. Before you know it, your foundation is cracked. You must be relentless in your maintenance. You must audit your associations. Are the people around you feeding your optimism or your cynicism? If you are the most positive person in your circle is too small. You need to find people whose discipline makes you feel like an amateur. Consider the architecture of optimism. This isn't about ignoring the storm, it's about knowing you have the tools to survive it. It is the ant philosophy applied to the spirit. The ant thinks summer all winter. When it's cold, when the ground is frozen, the ant reminds himself, this won't last long. That is an attitude of hope backed by discipline. Most people are the opposite. When it's summer, they worry about the winter. When they have money, they worry about being broke. They are pre-worrying, which is just practicing for a disaster that hasn't happened yet. What a waste of imagination. You must discipline your mind to hold a positive expectation. The marketplace pays for value, but here is the secret. Attitude is a component of value. If I have 2 workers with the exact same skills, but one is a joy to work with and the other is a misery, which one is more valuable? The one with the positive attitude. Why? Because they increase the productivity of everyone around them. They reduce friction. They solve problems without creating new ones. Their attitude is a force multiplier. If you want to increase your market value overnight, don't just learn a new skill, learn a new spirit. Become the person who is unshakable. Finally, look at the alchemy of the legacy. Your attitude is the only thing you truly leave behind. Your money will be spent. Your buildings will crumble. Your titles will be forgotten. But the way you made people feel, the electric charge you left in your wake, that will echo for generations. You are not just building a career, you are building an atmosphere of influence. When people remember you, do you want them to remember a man who was burdened by the world or a man who was a master of it? Do you want them to remember a spender of complaints or an accumulator of hope? The sun is setting on this hour, but it is rising on your next opportunity. The nightly audit is not a destination. It is a way of traveling. It is the continuous process of taking the raw, heavy material of life and transmuting it into the gold of achievement. It is a discipline, a choice, and a destiny. You have the iron wisdom in your hands. You have the compass of principle in your heart. You have the brush of choice in your fingers. Now, go out into the marketplace, set the temperature, move the stones, and paint a masterpiece that the world will never forget. Don't wait for a better year to have a better life. Create the better life to save the year. It's time to stop letting the world dictate your weather and start carrying your own sun. The 10 p.m. audit is your lighthouse. It is your anchor. It is your rescue. The clock is ticking and the ledger is open. What will the record show for tomorrow? You must also master the alchemy of the anchor. In every man's life, there are moments of sudden, violent transition. The loss of a contract, the end of a partnership, the shifting of a market. The 98% have their attitude anchored to the external world. And when the external world moves, their spirit is dragged into the depths. They are at the mercy of the waves. But the 2% anchor their attitude to their internal principles. They understand that while they cannot control the storm, they are the absolute masters of the ship's response. You must develop a core of iron that is independent of your bank statement. If your happiness is tied to your balance, you are a slave to the numbers. If your peace is tied to your principles, you are a king in any economy. Let's talk about the discipline of curiosity. One of the most subtle ways a golden attitude turns to lead is through the onset of cynicism. Cynicism is the death of growth. It is the belief that you have seen it all, know it all, and that the world is inherently tilted against you. To maintain the iron wisdom, you must replace cynicism with aggressive curiosity. When you meet a successful person, don't look for their flaws, look for their formula. When you see a new technology, don't look for why it will fail. Look for how it can be leveraged. A curious mind is a youthful mind. It is a mind that stays open to the fresh canvas every single day. The elite are perpetual students of the game because they know that the moment you think you finished the book, the marketplace changes the language. Consider the alchemy of the rebound. Everyone gets knocked down. Even the most elite, the most disciplined, and the most positive people have days where the wind blows them off course. The difference is the rebound time. The 98% get knocked down and stay down for a week, a month, or a lifetime. They talk about the fall for years. The 2% get knocked down and they are back on their feet before the dust has settled. They have the discipline to reset. They say, that was a bad hour, but it's not a bad day. That was a bad day, but it's not a bad life. Your ability to shorten the distance between the hit and the rebound is a measurement of your iron. Think about the magnetism of integrity. We live in a world where many people believe a shrewd attitude is the path to wealth. The belief that you must cut corners or outsmart others to get ahead. But that is the fool's gold of the spirit. It might bring a quick win, but it creates a reputation debt that will eventually bankrupt you. A golden attitude is rooted in radical honesty. When your internal word matches your external action, you develop a magnetic power that is undeniable. People sense it. The marketplace rewards it. You become a safe harbor for capital and opportunity. In the final accounting, your integrity is the highest value asset you own. Protect it with the same intensity that you protect your life. Let's look at the discipline of the pivot. A rigid attitude is a fragile one. If you are so set on your plan that you cannot adapt to reality, you will break when the wind shifts. The iron wisdom teaches us to be firm on the vision, but flexible on the path. When the market says no, the man of lead gets angry. The man of gold gets curious. He pivots. He adjusts the sail. He looks for the side door. This requires the attitude of a scientist, viewing every failure as data, not as a reflection of your worth. If the experiment failed, it doesn't mean the scientist is a failure. It means the formula needs adjustment. This emotional detachment from the how allows you to stay focused on the what. Consider the alchemy of physical vitality. You cannot maintain a high-performance attitude in a low-performance body. Your spirit and your physiology are a closed loop. If you are feeding yourself toxins, neglecting your sleep, and avoiding the discipline of movement, your attitude will eventually sour. It is a biological certainty. A tired mind is a fearful mind. A weak body is a pessimistic body. You must have the discipline to fuel the forge. Treat your physical self as the vessel that carries your golden spirit. When you feel your attitude slipping, check your basics. Have you moved? Have you breathed? Have you rested? Often, a bad attitude is simply a tired body in disguise. We must also confront the tyranny of the opinion. The 98% are terrified of what the crowd thinks. They dress, talk, and think in a way that seeks the approval of the mediocre. This creates a hollow attitude, one that is easily crushed by a single negative comment. The 2% develop the discipline of indifference to the crowd. They don't seek approval, they seek results. They understand that if you want to reach the top of the mountain, you must be willing to be misunderstood by those who are content to stay in the valley. Your attitude should be anchored to your internal board of directors, your values, your vision, and your mentors, not the shouting of the masses on the digital street corner. Think about the alchemy of preparation. Fear is often just a lack of design. When you walk into a situation unprepared, your attitude naturally shifts to defense. You become reactive, hesitant, and small. But when you have done the work in the dark, when you have studied the numbers, practiced the skill, and visualized the outcome, your attitude becomes one of quiet certainty. Preparation is the mother of confidence. The elite spend more time in the workshop of preparation so they can spend less time in the panic of execution. They know that a golden attitude is best supported by the steel of competence. Consider the alchemy of solitude. In the noise of the world, it is easy for your attitude to be polished away by the friction of other people's fears. You must have the discipline to retreat. Go to the woods, go to the library, go to the quiet room. Recenter your spirit. Remind yourself who you are and why you are doing this. The great empires of history were not conceived in committee. They were conceived in the solitude of a single, focused mind. When you emerge from your solitude, your attitude should be so clear and so bright that it serves as a commanding signal to everyone you meet. Think about the discipline of the daily review. Before you close your eyes at night, you must conduct an audit of the spirit. Ask yourself, where did I let my gold turn to lead today? Where did I lose my patience? Where did I let a crow dictate my weather? This isn't about guilt. It's about refining the ore. By acknowledging the lapses, you prevent them from becoming habits. You prepare the canvas for tomorrow. The architect of attitude never lets a mistake survive the night. He processes it, extracts the lesson, and clears the slate. He goes to sleep as a finished work, so he can wake up as a fresh beginning. We must also examine the alchemy of risk. A safe attitude is often a stagnant one. If you are so afraid of making a mistake that you never set the sail, you will never reach the harvest. You must develop the spirit of the venture. This is the willingness to be wrong in the pursuit of being great. It is the understanding that a bruised ego is a small price to pay for a broadened horizon. The 98% view risk as a threat to be avoided. The 2% view risk as the oxygen of opportunity. They maintain an attitude of calculated boldness, knowing that the greatest risk of all is the risk of doing nothing and ending up with a life of almosts. The sun is setting on this hour, but it is rising on your next opportunity. The alchemy of attitude is not a destination. It is a way of traveling. It is the continuous process of taking the raw, heavy material of life and transmuting it into the gold of achievement. It is a discipline, a choice, and a destiny. You have the iron wisdom in your hands. You have the compass of principle in your heart. You have the brush of choice in your fingers. Now, go out into the marketplace, set the temperature, move the stones, and paint a masterpiece that the world will never forget. I'll see you at the top.